Ladies and gentlemen, recently burglaries in Singapore has been rising quite significantly, and I think we need to take action against this burglary. Let's see what we need to do. The title of my topic today is Burglaries by Foreigners is on the Rise. Is it time for a policy change and policy review? Let's take a look, shall we? In Singapore, there are very few burglaries in the past. All these have changed with recent house break-ins. And the house breaking syndicates, they are no longer isolated crime, but syndicates, have broken into 10 landed houses in Singapore since June, stole $3.8 million. And the people arrested were mainly Chinese national. Between June the 1st to August the 4th, police received 10 reports of burglaries at landed property, and the suspects are believed to be transient travelers who enter Singapore on social visit pass, usually for 1 or 2 days before committing the crime. And they usually target landed property in the vicinity of the rail corridor, Bukit Timah Road, and at least one house in Windsor Park was also hit. And so far, we arrested 3 persons. They're all Chinese national. So a preliminary investigation suggests that these 3 are linked to foreign syndicates. That means this is now an organized crime. And the other 14 personnel were all identified, but I think they are all out of Singapore, and I think it's really very difficult to catch them. These groups appear to work in small groups and are very sophisticated. So the police have said that number of house-breaking related crimes has actually been on the decline. In the first half of 2024, it's only 59 reported cases. 2023 was 70. But the police also noted a sudden spike from June the 24th. So I think this is a real issue that we need to address. Channel 8 has a very interesting video. You should watch it. I'll try to put the link somewhere. And basically describe this syndicate. These syndicates are actually formed by little squads. Some are in charge of recce, some are in charge of housebreaking, some are in charge of picking up the loot from the forest. Because they're syndicates, they actually many times do not know each other within the syndicate. This is to facilitate possibility that if one person is captured, it doesn't spill over to the other, and also throw police away from their string of investigation. Very sophisticated, well-planned syndicates. And these syndicates are very smart. They choose their target carefully, is well-planned. They choose areas near to forested areas so that it's easy to cover the tracks and hide their loot. And if you see here, this is the rail corridor. Much vegetations are here and so on. So these are very smart syndicate, largely from China. Recently, there was a burglary in a landed estate. And again, the alleged burglars were all Chinese. The 2 foreign men who allegedly burglared a landed estate in Holland area on December the 16th entered a home through an adjacent house that was under construction. So one house under construction, they used that to climb over. While one of them looted the Greenfield Leaf home, the other is believed to have kept watch outside. And the police have not ruled out the possibility that these 2 persons were linked to the housebreaking syndicate that were active during the mid of 2024. Now, a lot of people said this is possibly because we made a policy change to allow a 30-day visa-free travel between Singapore and China. And this raised alarm seriously about potential criminals now entering Singapore. So is this true, right? Well, it's very subjective because this group of people truly came after the visa-free arrangement has been made. The police statistics shows that actually crime rate or housebreaking has came down, and there were no rise in the Chinese visitor arrested in Singapore since the start of the visa-free travel. MOS Sun Sheling actually said that there were no increase in the number of percentages of such visitors since visa exemption began. Even if 14 Chinese nationals were taken account, the percentages of Chinese visitors arrested in Singapore would be lower than the corresponding percentages last year, without giving exact figure. I'm not too sure whether if this visa-free arrangement was not there, would it be anything easier? What I think is that, even if there is visa requirement, if the syndicate wants to organize these people come over, I think they will still be able to come. Well, truth be told, the China economy is really doing very badly right now. However, the China bulls are talking about how well the stock market will be and things like that. The Chinese economy is really doing very badly. And in China, the crime rate is going up. In these kind of times, other countries' economic problem will become our security problem. So, for example, in Europe, we see that happening. For example, in Europe, in many parts of Europe, for example, in Romania, in Morocco, and some places where economy isn't doing so well, where the borders are very relaxed, a lot of people come from other parts of Europe to actually do a lot of crime. In Paris is terrible, Barcelona is terrible, Rome, Milan, Venice, London, all these are now overrun by pickpockets, thieves, and robbers, and the whole of Europe is definitely in a very bad shape right now in terms of security. I've been hit, I don't know, 10 over times by pickpockets in Europe, and it's not a nice feeling. Well, we do a quick check with the Sky Scanner and found that actually the air tickets to come here is actually very cheap. And it's about maybe $200 from Hangzhou all the way to maybe max $500-600 from Chengdu and things like that. So it's actually very cheap. One flight here, you make a few $100,000, you make a run for it. Easy money, easy to recruit back all your losses. It actually is a very, very lucrative business for this syndicate to come over and burglar some of the Singapore houses. Now, we have always pride our Singapore police force as a very efficient police force, and I still believe in that. But trust me, when the syndicates come in droves, huge droves, and well-organized syndicate, no matter how good our police is, I think if there are just too many of them, our country will be overrun by this syndicate. At this moment, I also would like to say that I don't think the visa relaxation is the root cause of it. It suddenly probably sparked off some impetus over this. But even if we tighten the visa requirement right now between Singapore and China, I think the syndicates will still come over. You just need to apply for visa, right? I think it's a case where we really need to understand that the world has changed. China has changed, and we got to change as well. So if you look at the news, you actually see this news, right? We don't lock our doors, says the residents of burglary hit estates along Holland Road. Some of these landed properties just make it so easy as an easy target for these burglars. So I think it is important to maintain vigilance ourselves right now. I think the decades of good security in Singapore has led to a lot of slacking by Singaporeans. And I think this is a time we need to slap ourselves to wake up to know that things are maybe not the same anymore. It used to be a time where the Singapore police force actually used the phrase, low crime doesn't mean no crime. And I think that's a very good slogan to tell everybody we should not take low crime for granted. That was in the past, and I think maybe those days are over. More importantly, I think we need to come to the possibility that times have changed. Crime have changed too, and we must change too. Our vigilance need to go up. We need to know that Singapore, because of our prosperity, because of the way our citizens have got used to very nice security, have slackened. We become a juicy fruit for all this syndicate to attack us. And this one is something we cannot take for granted. So as I sign off this video, I really urge everybody, be very careful. The more we protect ourselves and make it difficult for the syndicate, the more the syndicate will find it difficult to come in and take advantage of us. Then they will possibly go somewhere else to do their crime. So please really take this very seriously. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a day or two. Bye-bye.